Welcome back to Try Before We Die, the whiskey review show where we don't know what we're drinking, but we'll tell you what we're thinking, right, Matt?
I'm not Mal.
You are not Mal. You are definitely better looking than Malcolm. This is like I just won the lottery. No Mal. Before we get into why Mal's not here, why don't we find out what we're drinking tonight? Larry?
Yep.
When should I stop? No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
All right, anytime after now.
Now.
Bottle 116. That bottle is behind you, Larry. I'm going to get over there and pull bottle 116. We'll figure out what it is. We'll open it. We'll get it breathing, and we'll figure out what happened to Malcolm here on Try Before We Die.
Try before we die with a bearded man and a British guy.
As promised, in Malcolm's absence, it's bottle 116. Well, we know we're at 98. We add 10. We're at 108. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, Malcolm. Oh, well. I think we're all going to enjoy this Auchentoshan 25-year-old Lowland Single Malt Scotch Whisky released by Chieftains. We have a bottle number 194 of 239 available worldwide. We're bottled in 2018, distilled in 1993, coming in at 42.9% ABV. We have a 25-year-old Auchentoshan. Now, Malcolm would know Auchentoshan means in the corner of the field. Check out our WTF series. We'll see everybody back at the bar for this hopefully excellent whiskey. Larry.
Colin?
Meg.
Colin.
So great to see you guys.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, sometimes, you just miss your friends, and sometimes you look around and you see your friends. So, Larry, we pulled the Auchentoshan of 25-year-old Lowland Region. I made a mistake over there at the bottle pull. It's actually cask 239. There was only 194 bottles in that cask. The Angels took a good share. It's a 25-year-old from 93, bottled in 18, coming in at 42.9%. And on the back, we use a wide variety of different oak, including casks that previously matured in sherry, bourbon, port, and rum. Ooh. So we have a potential for a very complex whiskey. It is not chill filtered and natural color. So this whiskey says, I am what I am. I am Chieftain, the Auchentoshan whiskey man. Or was it Popeye and spinach? Anyway, let's get it open because that's the deal here. Only 194 bottles available worldwide. Soon to be one less that is not unopened. It wants to fight. We'll just do this. Ready? Here we go.
Ooh.
Tonal.
It's ready.
It is ready. Let's get him into a glass. And we'll talk about why Malcolm's not here.
Ooh.
Good gurgle.
Pour him good. Now we'll watch this episode and be like, don't pour him like that when I'm there. Now, Auchentoshan means in the corner of the field. If Mal was here, he would be in the corner of the bar. It's the location of the distillery. It's a lowland distillery. There are not many lowland distilleries, and Auchentoshan has been hanging around for quite a while. Chieftain, so this is what they know as an independent bottler. So this has not been released by Auchentoshan themselves. Chieftains came in, sampled some casks. Auchentoshan agreed, oh, you could buy this one or that one. They found a cask they liked. They did whatever they wanted to it, and they released it. And they can only say distilled at Auchentoshan, not released by, right? So this is not a distillery release. This is an independent bottling. This is a private label release of a whiskey distilled at Auchentoshan, and Chieftains has finished it the way they saw fit.
Nice.
25-year-old.
And by finished, you mean...
So they may have chosen to do those extra cask finishes, the port, the rum, or whatnot. That
Okay.
probably was not done at Auchentoshan by Auchentoshan. Chieftain's come across a cask that was probably the bourbon cask finish and said, this has some potential. We'd like to do what we want to do with it to bring a flavor that we think we can get out of this particular spirit. And they, at 25 years later, said, we think this is it. We're ready to do this. So this is
Makes it even more unique.
Yeah.
kind of exciting.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah. So
Wow.
how is it that you guys are here and Mal's not?
Luck of the draw.
Luck of the
I think Mal got hungry.
yeah. Mal slipped off, and it's like, oh, you can carry on without me, right? It's kind of a win-win, right?
Win-win.
Right. Win for you, win for me.
He's in the
No,
corner of the field.
He's in the corner of the bar, right? Yeah. No, but he'll probably get a taste of this. But it's really actually great to have you both here. As
Thank
has
you.
been explored in some other episodes, I know you from Panucci's Ale House in Keene, New Hampshire. Goes back a long time, talking decades. We've talked about the passage of time and
Yes.
what a mind mess that is, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the whole idea of try before we die, right, is to have experiences before we're not here anymore, and that's sort of the underlining value of this show, right? Is why do something if you're not going to do it? And so we're collecting whiskey here so we can drink the whiskeys.
Right.
And I'm thrilled you're both here.
Thank you.
Peg, what's kind of neat about this is you're behind the bar and we're sitting in front of it.
Oh my gosh!
Exactly. It was always
For
flipped.
years.
How many
It was the
years
other
was
way
it
around.
the other way around? Oh my gosh! Yeah, I never even considered that.
Yeah.
That is an awesome point, Larry. Right? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh! Right? Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm sure sometimes it was exciting to see me come in the bar, and there may have been times when I'm like, oh gosh, here he is.
Here he is again.
Yeah.
No.
Yep, for sure.
No.
All right, well let's get into this Chieftain's 25-year-old Auchentoshan, less than 200 bottles in the world.
Okay.
All right, so what we know again, natural color coming in at 42.9%. I feel like I'm in somewhere between a light to a very low medium gold.
A little bit of a honey color.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah.
Gold.
If I said Tupelo honey, is that a real thing?
It is.
Okay.
In a song.
Oh, I've heard of it somewhere, right? I'm not pulling a lot of legs out of
No.
this. It's really sheeting down, like almost like it never even rose up the glass. Just like
Yeah, it's cheating.
it just comes right back down. And a little come out the
At
lid.
the top, yeah.
I cheated. Did you cheat too?
Mhm.
Yeah. So we have this this honey colored, this light gold bordering on a very light medium gold. Anything you want to add to color, Larry?
No, I think you hit it right in the head.
Yeah. All right. So we have this 42.9 Chieftain's Auchentoshan. Anything else anybody wants to say before we pull these lids and have a nosing on this?
Let's get to it.
Yeah, we just make one more note here. What did they say? Sherry bourbon, port and rum. So
Nice.
there's potential for complexity. We won't know until we do the next steps, nosing and tasting. It's coming in a little more alcohol-y than I thought at 42.9. Something sweet.
I'm getting rum
Are you
Yummy.
picking it up? Yeah.
and sherry.
Maybe a fermented raisin in there.
I would have said the port. Definitely.
Yep.
It noses a little darker than it looks.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
you
agree.
Yep.
Totally.
It doesn't punch you in the face though. It's a nice, from the moment you take the lid off, it's just a nice
Yeah.
smell.
I had a just a little burn at the beginning. I mean very minor, but it's gone now that it's begun to breathe. It's interesting that you on the port, right? I still feel like I'm picking up some of that fermented raisin or something going on there with a darker fruit, which lines up with a port, by
Right.
the way, Meg.
I'm still getting rum too.
Larry's still married to the rum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could be the sweet.
Yeah. Good thing we got some nice pours here.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we'll be able to sort of
too
take
bad
a
Mal
second.
couldn't
Yeah,
enjoy
it's
this,
too bad.
but-
Mal
Yeah,
couldn't
it's too
enjoy
bad.
this, but I think we're having his share. Yeah. So sometimes it's the angel's share, but tonight it's Mal's share. Well, let's have a little taste of this. We're agreeing in something that nosing darker than it looks. 25-year-old
Salute.
Auchentoshan from Chieftains, coming in at 42.9%. I got stuck on two words there. I got stuck on popcorn and rice.
There was a surprise there, right in the middle. It was like popped. There was
Yeah.
a sweet that kind of popped for me.
Almost like, I mean, again, I don't want to get stuck on this, and so don't marry to this at all, but there was something like a sake in there. Again, that's some of that rice for me. That's interesting. Before I say anything else, Larry or Meg, something you want to say?
This is nice.
Oh, it's very, very nice. But I can't put a word on it either. There's still
so
a
many different things
mid-level.
going on. I can't really.
There are at
There's a
least
surprising-
4 to 6 things happening in this whiskey, right? And as I sit here talking, I have a developing spice just building right here in my throat. I have a developing spice. I have something very dry on the top of my mouth happening. And I still am picking up on this dark fruit that is very sweet. And I'll tell you,
Is it plum?
it could be, so maybe the raisin is a plum, right? But I still have this rice or this popcorn thing happening in my mouth, which may be a piece of this dry. Some sakes can be very dry, and I know that we're not there at all, but something is happening that's very dry in my mouth.
You mentioned a bourbon cask.
Yeah.
I'm a bourbon person as well. There's definitely a bourbon taste in this.
You know, what's very interesting to me is that 25 years,
Oh,
I just need to confirm this. Natural color. 25 years natural color. Something tells me this is not a first fill bourbon. We are second or third fill. We're in a refill bourbon,
yep.
right? Because we're not picking up a lot of these dark colors at 25 years. If this was a first fill, I feel like we'd have a much darker whiskey and we'd be picking up a lot more vanilla.
I am picking up vanilla on the front of my tongue.
Yeah.
But it dissipates very quickly.
But not quickly, no.
Oh,
Okay.
My still sitting there, as he's talking about it,
Yeah.
I'm tasting vanilla.
Okay.
Right in the front of the tongue.
Okay.
I'll still stand by me at 25 years. I don't think we're in a first fill. I think that these casks have seen whiskey before, and they have cycled these casks, this whiskey, through several different casks that have seen spirit before, picking up a lot of subtleties. And so when I talk about this rice and this popcorn, those are very delicate flavors.
Okay.
And so I think that's what's happening here is we're picking up these delicate flavors. I get to be wrong, and I often am.
I get a burst of something at the back of my tongue. It's not in the throat, it's just at the back of my tongue, and there's a pop there.
I'm also getting a short finish. I don't know.
Very short.
Right,
Yeah,
no, it finished short, but then suddenly it like re-emerged as if the fish came up, went down. You're like, oh, it's gone.
Very, very pleasant.
And then it come back up. It was a long stretch between the two finishes. It's happening again. This is an interesting whiskey. And so a Lowland will be often known for very light, floral, and fragrant.
Okay.
Right? It will be a mellower Speyside in terms of its classic presentation without any additional finishing casking profiles. So lowlands are known to be light and floral. So there's something that's a classic lowland in here. And Auchentoshan is a triple distilled whiskey, meaning that at the end of the day, the spirit that is captured to be casked rises to the top of the still a third time and is the finest and the cleanest of the spirit. And so you'll get the most delicate whiskeys in the lowlands. And so they'll pick up the most subtle flavors. They're the most susceptible to influence.
Did you say this was a dessert drink?
When would I drink this, Meg asks.
I would drink this with a cigar.
Yeah.
It's got enough
Just after
complex.
dinner, is that what you
And
mean?
after dinner.
This is, so I'm not a sweets guy, right? I don't
Right.
really care for dessert. I'd rather have more dinner than dessert. So for me, I feel like I could actually drink this with dinner.
With dinner.
It's not going to compete with the robustness of the meal,
Right.
right? I'm not gonna find myself in competition with what I'm eating. I think this could be a complement to the dish. And for me, that will often be vegetables or a fish, right, or a salad. So I think this is gonna really marry well with my traditional dinners. 100% agree with you in terms of after dinner.
Yeah.
I just don't go to. I'm not a nicotine user, so a cigar doesn't ring my bell, and dessert doesn't really ring my bell, other than with a cheesecake.
Sure.
So
I think I'd like to have this just stand alone. I wouldn't even want to have dinner influence it at all.
Yeah.
That's why I said after dinner.
Yep.
Sitting
Okay.
around with your friends,
Right.
have a cigar or not, sitting there around a fire, just telling stories. But this is a nice. This deserves to be all by itself.
One of the things that I think is really important when you're drinking a single malt Scotch whiskey is to not only appreciate what's in the glass and the way you're experiencing it in your mouth and in your belly, but to appreciate at times the uniqueness of what it is, regardless of what the experience is like. I think we're all enjoying the experience, but what this is one of 194 bottles, right? And so there's something about the experience that we get to have, you know, as friends and in this moment, right, that can't be replicated in another moment in time, right? And that in itself levels up the experience in like that video game sense, you know, ding, 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 juggernaut, right? That you get to have an experience that nobody else is having.
I can appreciate the artisan craft that went behind making that.
Yes.
That not only did Chieftains get it from Auchentoshan,
Yep.
but then they crafted this.
Right. There's that. How about
And
some of this?
a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And this is such a unique bottle
Yep.
that
Right. It's
you can't replicate it.
You know,
It's not a computerized mix.
correct. I mean, though 193 other people
Right.
could have this opportunity in a world of 8+ billion
Still, it's an
people,
artisan.
right? We are in a very small percentage of folks having this experience. And even if we hated this whiskey, we're still having an experience that not many folks are having.
Right.
Right. The fact that we're like, hey, and not many folks are having this. It is a level up experience. Right. And coming in at 25 years, meaning that somebody had the patience, right, to wait. And that we just became the beneficiary of Randy, the magic box, that led us there tonight. Again, it's not necessarily once in a lifetime, but probably, truthfully, once in our lifetimes. I don't know
Yes.
that we'll ever see this bottle again on a shelf. So there it is.
Truly a try before we die.
Yeah, tried.
Yeah, absolutely.
We did succeed.
We did it.
We tried before we died. The Chieftain, 25-year-old Auchentoshan, a multi-cask, 42.9% ABV, only 194 out there. And certainly, best case scenario, only 193 unopened. Larry? So, Meg?
Salute.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Let's see what the crew has in store for us. I'll just read it without reading it all first. Here's to the 2 secrets to a long-lasting marriage: a good sense of humor and a short memory. What do you say?
What?
It's the truth. It's the truth.
To Malcolm.
To Malcolm. We'll let him know how it was. What's nice for me is there's so much happening in this whiskey, and at the same time, it is remaining true to the classic Lowland style of light and floral and refreshing, right? And at 25 years at natural color, still coming in at this light bordering on medium gold color, it really shows that Chieftains understood what they got from Auchentoshan and what they intended to do with this whiskey. This is a great example of a well-aged Lowland whiskey.
With a bearded man and a British guy.